Trending in true crime today, the murder indictment against the husband of a missing Texas mom, Suzanne Simpson, reveals that her DNA was on a handheld electric saw, which was seized by police. The mother of two has been missing now for 2 months. Her husband, Brad Simpson, is facing several charges, including murder. Here's Court TV field reporter Cody Thomas with more from San Antonio.
Well, good morning, Ted. Of course, we know Suzanne Simpson went missing earlier this year in October, and the big news this week, her husband, Brad Simpson, has now been indicted for her murder. The indictment came down on Tuesday, December 3rd, ahead of what was supposed to be an examining trial coming up on the 9th. That has since been canceled. I reached out to Brad Simpson's court-appointed defense attorney this week regarding the indictment. He told me he had no comment at this time, but he did let me know he filed a motion to quash the indictment on Wednesday. I also received this statement from the Bexar County DA's office regarding the indictment, saying in part, "We extend our deep sympathies to the family of Suzanne Simpson as we move forward in the pursuit of justice." Brad Simpson's brother, Barton Simpson, has also been vocal regarding the investigation into Suzanne's disappearance.
This helps us come to terms with the reality that Suzanne is no longer with us, allowing us to continue the difficult process of grieving and focus on rebuilding our lives for the sake of the children and our extended family.
He released this statement on Facebook following the indictment, saying in part, "We urge Brad to do the right thing by fully cooperating with the authorities. For the sake of his children and the family who loves him, we ask him to accept responsibility and place himself at the mercy of the court." And Ted, of course, police have released that affidavit outlining the mountain of evidence that they say they have against Brad Simpson, and we'll continue to monitor the new developments in this investigation as they come out. That's the latest from here in San Antonio, Texas, Ted. We'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Cody. Cody will be there for Monday's hearing as well in this case. It's a horrible case. You have this husband that apparently took his wife's life, according to the evidence, according to the state, and you have his family basically saying, dude, come clean and help this process move forward. That's how much potential evidence is there, but there's no body. So is this the evidence the prosecutors needed, the saw, the DNA? Here to discuss, criminal defense attorney Don Malarczyk is still with us, and criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor Joe Tamburino is with us. Good morning to you, Joe. Happy Friday. This case is, it's a heartbreaker because we all know she's dead. This is a mother, a realtor. This is not a woman that is off vacationing somewhere with another life, has another life going. She's dead. What does the DNA tell you in terms of the strength of the case against the husband, despite the fact it's at this point a no-body prosecution?
Good morning, Ted. Thanks for having me on. Well, it's a strong case so far. I mean, think of it this way. She disappeared on October 6th, and the next day on October 7th, they have evidence that Brad was driving around with a tarp that looked like something was under this tarp in the back of his pickup. In fact, he had something weighing the tarp down, and he was driving around from, say, 11 a.m. to about 1 p.m., and when he went back to the area at about 1 p.m., the tarp was gone. And then they have the indictment that says he was hiding evidence, basically, of this type of saw, a saw that's pretty powerful that could obviously cut through wood, bone. It's a reciprocating type of saw. And now we know that the saw has her DNA on it. So unless he's got some type of evidence or arguments that possibly her DNA was transferred on it, since they knew each other, they obviously had a relationship. Her DNA might be on him and he transferred it to the saw. Unlikely, but I would say at this point there's a lot of evidence against him.
Don, if you're representing him, I get your job is to represent your client, and that everyone deserves great representation. But when you have the client's brother out in public, in front of the microphone saying, listen, help us, just come clean. We know you did it, dude. Do you address that with him at all and say, there is one thing we could do here, or how? You really can't, can you? People may look at the defense attorney in this situation and say, can you talk some sense into him? But is that your place?
You know, it absolutely is. And I don't know that it's my place to talk some sense into anyone, but what I have to do is really explore trying to resolve this case. The stakes couldn't really be higher. He's charged with murder. These are really significant, serious crimes. And as I'm detailing the evidence, discussing it with my client, talking about it, hearing his thoughts about it, we're also really actively trying to find some kind of a resolution. Can we possibly plead to a lesser charge? You know, quite frankly, the reality is if this person did it, he has some valuable information that he could use to try to get a better charge, maybe a manslaughter. If he identifies where the body is, that provides some closure to the family. So you're trying to do your job and resolve this case. You really don't want a trial on any situation, so you're working hard to get some resolution, and he does have some leverage here that might work a favorable plea. So that's exactly what any good defense attorney would be doing right now.
But Joe, when a case has the public's attention, like this one, it's hard for a prosecutor to agree to any deal. But to Don's point, there's no body here. Do you think that they are discussing this in trying to resolve it now to find her?
I'm sure they've made overtures to do so. And I agree with Don. I think there are some cards to play. When you have a body that's not been found, you know, it is important for closure to get that kind of information. So he does have that card to play. I mean, there's a lot of evidence against him. I mean, you know, we even have, I don't know if this would be admitted in court, but we even have Suzanne's words or discussion with her banker where she says, if I'm missing, basically, you could blame him and I look in a lake for me. So, you know, obviously there was some type of abuse going on here. But he does have cards to play. If he knows where the body is, then he could use that to try to get some type of a deal.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know about the strength of his hand at this point, and I don't know about the public's appetite of him getting anything less than a life without parole, if not the death penalty, because it's despicable what's alleged here, if indeed he's guilty.